Fabrizio Romano has just confirmed that Arsenal are preparing to make a major move for one of the most exciting young strikers in English football. Meanwhile, Mikel Arteta has just received a huge blow regarding Arsenal's long-term right-back target, and there's one crucial detail that could force the club to completely rethink its plans. And finally, Arsenal are now looking at a teenage centre-back from a North London rivals academy. But the big question remains: is Ben White really on his way out? If you want all the details on these explosive stories as the transfer window continues to gather momentum, subscribe right now, turn on notifications, and let's get straight into it. Let's jump straight into the first story because Fabrizio Romano has just dropped the kind of Rodgers update that every Gooner has been waiting for, and he was not holding back. Speaking on his YouTube channel, Romano was effusive about both the player and Arsenal's intent. This is a special player. We saw him with Aston Villa performing in a fantastic way, so I'm sure he's going to do great. I love him. Top player, but also Arsenal love him, and Arsenal want to go big for this one because Arsenal remain in conversations for Morgan Rodgers. Top player. Arsenal want to go big. Romano does not throw those phrases around carelessly. When the most connected journalist in world football uses that language about a specific target, it means something concrete is developing behind the scenes. And the follow-up from Alex Goldberg makes it even more significant. Rodgers himself fully expects to become an Arsenal player this summer after the World Cup. The player's mindset is already at the Emirates. That is enormous. Right now, Rodgers is in America with England at the World Cup. And this is where Arsenal's English core becomes a genuine transfer weapon. Declan Rice and Bukayo Saka are in that same dressing room. Every training session, every team dinner, every conversation in the camp is an opportunity for Arsenal's most influential players to paint a picture of what life at the Emirates looks like. That kind of internal recruitment cannot be bought. It just happens organically when your squad is filled with the right characters. The obstacle, as ever, is the fee. Aston Villa want £100 million, and they are not moving from that position easily. Arsenal will also need to sell players to fund the deal. Martinelli, Trossard, or others must go first to create the financial and squad space Rodgers requires. But with Romano confirming Arsenal are ready to go big, and the player himself expecting the move to happen, this one feels increasingly inevitable. Get it done, Berta? The pieces are already falling into place. Now let's talk about the right-back situation, because according to Portuguese newspaper A Bola, Arsenal have revived their long-standing interest in Sporting CP's Ivan Fresneda. And the first thing Sporting have made clear is that their position has hardened significantly since earlier reports suggested he was available for around £26 million. Sporting now view Fresneda as untouchable, a future leader of the club, not for sale at any reasonable price. That sounds familiar. And Arsenal fans have heard those exact words from Juventus about Yildiz and Bournemouth about Krupi. But here is the crucial detail that separates the Fresneda situation from all of those. The 21-year-old Spaniard has only 2 years remaining on his current contract at Sporting. That single fact changes everything. Sporting are now in the exact position that clubs dread. They must either offer him a new deal that reflects his growing status or accept that his market value will only decrease as his contract winds down. If Fresneda has no desire to stay in Lisbon long-term, Sporting will be compelled to sell this summer rather than risk losing him for nothing in 2 years. Arsenal's financial firepower makes them perfectly placed to exploit that leverage. The profile fits Arteta's system beautifully too. Fresneda is not a flashy attacking fullback who bombs forward looking for crosses. He is technically precise, positionally intelligent, defensively reliable, an excellent passer who consistently makes the right decision, rather than the exciting one. In 74 Sporting appearances, he has yet to register a single assist. At most clubs, that would be a criticism. At Arsenal, where fullbacks are used as structural pillars rather than attacking weapons, it is practically a job description. Manchester City and Newcastle are also monitoring the situation, so Arsenal cannot afford to wait indefinitely. But with the contract leverage working in the Gunners' favour and Sporting eventually needing to make a decision, this one is very much alive. Watch this space closely. Now let's talk about a story that is going to make every Gooner smile, because Arsenal are moving to sign a Tottenham Academy player, and the identity of his father makes this one of the most poetic transfer stories of the entire summer. According to The Athletic, Arsenal are interested in signing 18-year-old defender Elijah Upson, whose father is former Arsenal and England centre-back Matthew Upson. The teenager was offered a professional contract by Tottenham but chose not to sign it, and that decision has opened the door for the Premier League champions to walk straight through. Moves between these two clubs are extraordinarily rare, and when they happen, they are remembered for a very long time. Sol Campbell remains the most famous example. The Spurs captain crossed the divide in 2001 after his contract expired and went on to win 2 league titles and 3 FA Cups as an Arsenal legend. Elijah Upson's situation is obviously different in scale, but the principle is identical. Tottenham have no control over where he goes. Arsenal have wasted no time in making their interest known. This signing fits perfectly into the broader youth strategy Berta and Arteta are building. Jeremy Monga from Leicester is accelerating with personal terms already agreed. PSG under-19s captain Emmanuel Mbemba is a target. Irish teenager Victor Ozianvuna has already been brought in. Ecuadorian twins Edwin and Holger Quintero have agreed pre-contracts for August 2027. The Hale End pipeline is being rebuilt from the ground up following Per Mertesacker's departure as academy manager, and the ambition is clear. Arsenal want one of the most exciting academies in Europe. Signing a Spurs academy player whose father is an Arsenal legend for free, while simultaneously strengthening the youth setup, that is the kind of story that writes itself. Welcome to North London, Elijah. The right side of it. Now let's round things off with a significant Ben White update, because Arsenal insider James McNicholas has just appeared on the Arscast with information that suggests the defender's exit this summer is nowhere near as inevitable as the transfer gossip columns have been suggesting. McNicholas was measured but clear. If a buyer emerges at the level that makes it worthwhile for Arsenal, I think it's pretty early days on that one. Everything I've sort of heard and spoken to people about, I don't think there are any dramatic or imminent developments on Ben's future. No dramatic developments, no imminent exit. And when you look at the defensive picture Arsenal are currently navigating, that update makes complete and total sense. Consider the situation Arteta is managing right now. Jurrien Timber has already withdrawn from the Netherlands World Cup squad with a groin injury, the same issue that prevented him from starting in Budapest. William Saliba faces the prospect of post-tournament surgery that could rule him out for the start of next season. The defensive depth that looked so solid just weeks ago is suddenly looking stretched in a genuinely concerning way. In that context, pushing Ben White out the door this summer without an exceptional replacement firmly in place would be bordering on reckless. White was absolutely central to Arsenal's title run-in. A leader, an experienced operator, and a player who had seemingly played his way back into Thomas Tuchel's England plans before a knee injury ended his season prematurely. Who knows what impact his experience and quality might have had in Budapest. The right-back market remains complicated. Livramento was priced out. Fresneda may prove difficult. Palestra and Fresneda alternatives are still being assessed. Until Berta has the right replacement confirmed and ready, keeping White is not a compromise. It is the smart decision. Sometimes the best transfer business is knowing exactly when not to sell. Now I want to hear from you. Does Romano's Rodgers update convince you the deal is happening? Is Fresneda the right Ben White replacement, or do Arsenal need to aim higher? How much does the Elijah Upson story make you smile? And are you actually relieved that Ben White might be staying given the defensive injury situation? Drop everything in the comments right now. I read every single one, and your debates are always absolutely electric. Let's build this summer together. And if you want every Arsenal update as we chase that Champions League trophy, hit that subscribe button immediately. Smash it right now and turn on notifications. This window is just warming up, and we are coming for everything. Until next time, Gooners. Come on, you Gunners.